Forever. Dog.
You know, I do look cute today.
You look great.
Right? Look at that.
Yeah.
Hair.
You're fetching.
Oh my gosh. Well, what better way to start this week's episode than by getting a compliment from my beloved Dan Acton. Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Collins. I'm this midnight snack. It's just a relaxed week here. We're not doing it. We're not, changing the wheel this week. We are just chatting, getting to know each other, catching up.
I have a lot of new ideas, actually.
I actually, it's funny. I came up with a great idea for something for a website, and Dan has really inspired me because Dan has a product coming out. I won't say what it is yet, but I think that helping you and make choices. Yeah. I'll tell you what the idea is after the show, but I'm like, God, maybe I could have a really successful website that sells stuff. I was like, I could probably do it.
You absolutely could. Oh, you should do that.
I actually, when I tell you the idea, I don't want to fuck it up here. We'll talk after the show. Any investors can reach out to me directly on Instagram at Mishcall if you want to get in while the getting's good. At MICHCOLL. Now, Dan Acton, hi. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say they say that the 5 people that you talk to the most, that's how your life is going to go. So, coming up with new products, new ideas, it gets you thinking and gets you moving in whatever direction.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, think about it.
I am actually. It kind of does make sense.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, welcome to the show. I am in London, England. I'm in my hotel room. I had it was Thanksgiving. We talked about Thanksgiving a little bit. We didn't at all. Anyways, it was Thanksgiving last week. It was Thanksgiving last week. I went to, in a very safe way, before anyone reaches out, I traveled to Wales to visit a friend. He picked me up. I took the train back. The train was, when I tell you, empty. There was literally nobody. I paid for first class. Not a soul on my car. It was truly being famous. Wow. It felt great. But I went to Cardiff, Wales. Cute town. Don't know if I'd go back, but it was nice.
Wow. What was it like?
First of all, what was so fun about it, and I do feel guilty talking about this because I realize that I actually don't even want to say it because it's going to make me look like such a fucking asshole. But knowing that I was going to a place I had never been this year in general is always a fun idea anyway. Yeah. But, my friend coming to get me and just knowing that, there's a new city and I don't know what it's going to be like, that feeling of excitement felt so normal and good. And it's such a terrible thing to say because I don't want to encourage people to go on a big vacation or anything.
No, but
he's the only person I saw. We ate no meals indoors. We were masked the entire time. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
That being said, it was a really good feeling. It was nice.
Yep. You know what I know about Cardiff?
What's that?
My friend owns a bar here in Brooklyn called Cardiff Giant. It's a great bar.
How dare you say that to me? Are you actually joking me?
Wait, no.
You're you want to hear a hilarious thing? My friend in Brooklyn it's called Mish, the Cardiff Giant. It's a bar. And all they do is...
No.
Go on. Yeah, Cardiff Giant.
But I looked it up. It's a great bar. They only serve New York alcohol. So that's weird. But it's based off this thing that I think happened in Cardiff. It was a hoax.
Oh.
That somebody made a huge human body and buried it, and then quote unquote found it, dug it up, and said, "Wow, look, I found this giant," as a tourism thing.
Oh my God! Wait, I gotta Google this now. By the way, this is if I ever need to restart my career. Spoiler alert! Now's the time.
I'll bring a shovel.
Now's the time. Yeah, bring some straws for my little nostrils, and let's make this a thing. I'm googling it. Cardiff Giant. That is there. Yeah. Wasn't there a Simpsons episode where they also dug something up?
Yeah, that sounds familiar too.
It's funny. There's something called Cardiff Giant Management. Okay, I've Googled it. The Cardiff Giant was one of the most... it's American history. In Cardiff, New York. No.
Oh, okay. I'm stupid.
Come on, Dan. But obviously I'm going to read this.
Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. You just found a way. You had to find a way to insult me. It doesn't matter what country it's in or, I do deserve it. All right. The Cardiff Giant was one of the most famous hoaxes in American history. A 10-foot tall purported petrified man, it's every man I've ever dated, uncovered on October 16th, 1869 by workers digging a well behind the barn of William C. Stubb, in quotes, Newell. Great nickname.
He's compensating for something.
I mean, clearly. I'd be like, who dug something up? Let me guess, Stubb? Yeah, don't buy it. Let me guess. Who was like, we should call all hoaxers Stubbs. That would make them feel like shit. You know what I mean? Because hoaxers, I don't know. There's just something there. You got to put him down.
Right.
Dan's not making eye contact with me. We'll figure it out. Wait, listen to this. Both it and an unauthorized copy made by P.T. Barnum are still being displayed. Oh, that's fun. Oh, cool. The original is on display at the farm. Oh my God, we got to go when I'm back in New York. The Farmers Museum in Cooperstown, New York. By the way.
It's not bad.
Not only isn't he bad, look at that body. He's fully, I mean, he's like, he's huge. He sure is. He's like Liam Neeson down there.
Yeah. He's fully erect, but it's like down.
It's down and hard. Wow.
Yeah. Huh.
Circumcised. That's nice. Unbelievable. I swear not the worst. Look again. People Google this. This is fun. This is like going to a museum and having an audio tour.
He's really not bad. No,
I swear I would talk to him.
Yeah.
I think he's my type. What am I even talking about? Wait a minute. Talk to him. I should be so lucky. Should I continue talking about this? Because it's very funny. The Giant was I love all Giant news. You know that. Like, it's as a Giant, it's just fun to read about. The Giant was the creation of a New York tobacconist, not tobogganist. He's a tobacconist named George Hull. Hull, an atheist, hilarious, just says it, decided to create the Giant after an argument, at a Methodist revival meeting about Genesis, which states that there were giants who once lived on Earth. This guy is a fucking crack up. So he goes...
Yeah, just to troll people?
He's trolling.
He's
one of America's OG trolls, and I love him for it. He's an incel. Him and Stubbs. Those are the original incels. The idea of a petrified man did not originate with Hull, however. During 1858, and by the way, let me stop to just say, I'm sure you saw this story last week of them finding that huge silver... What would you call that thing? Like that huge...
Oh, yeah. In Utah?
Monolith, in Utah.
Yeah, the monolith.
Which then went missing and now is in Romania.
Wait, it's in Romania
They
now?
found one in Romania.
That's really cool.
Isn't it fun?
Wow. I want to know, because they didn't know how it was placed in the rock, and then it's gone, and then there was no follow-up, is there just a big slot? Or what happened?
I mean, by the way, are you going to tell me that you find a monolith in Utah and you don't hire a guard to watch it? First thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
What is this, Jeffrey Epstein again? I mean, really, the first thing you got to do is hire someone to watch the monolith. I'm like, how could they let it go unsupervised even for 1 second? This could be the connection to an entirely different world.
Wait, did you see that, it was American Airlines or somebody like that, their social on Twitter, they were like, oh, that's where that went. And they they used the same kind of monolith to say seats this, seats
funny.
1 through 50 go this way.
Probably Southwest. They always do that.
Yeah, Southwest.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I'm sorry. That's actually hilarious. Somehow, I just opened my phone back up to continue reading about the Giant.
Yeah.
And I don't remember clicking on this, but Wikipedia is now on a wholly different page. I did not click on this for the record. It says Nephilim. Oh, do you know what that is?
That's the biblical giants.
I'm learning so much about my own kind today that I didn't even know, where have I been? I guess is what I'm wondering. The Nephilim.
Nice bangs, though.
No, it must be Nephilim. I bet there's a heap. My mom's going to call to correct me for sure. Yeah. Are mysterious beings or people from the Bible. They are large and strong. It's loosely translated as giants in some Bibles. Some traditional Jewish explanations interpret them as fallen angels. It says, according to Numbers 13:33, they later inhabited Canaan at the time of the Israelite conquest. Interesting. Okay, well, let's go back to these giants. Is this boring? To me, it's fascinating. Okay, so let me keep reading this though. Hull hired men to quarry out a 10-foot, 4.5-inch long block of gypsum in Fort Dodge, Iowa, telling them it was intended for a monument to Abraham Lincoln in New York. Already funny. By the way, already funny. Using Lincoln, the fact that Lincoln is involved with this, Cardiff Giant, already funny. Because people would be like, but 10 feet long, but Abraham Lincoln, he's a man of only 6'5" stature. And he's going, don't forget the hat. You gotta include the hat. That's another 2-3 feet. Yes, the hat. All right, make it 10 feet. Hezekiah or whoever's carving it out. He shipped the block to Chicago, where he hired Edward Burghardt, a German stonecutter. I knew the Germans would get involved, to carve it into the likeness of a man and swore him to secrecy. Funny. This is great. There should be a movie made about this.
I know.
It's so good. Various stains and acids were used to make the giant appear old and weathered. And the giant surface is beaten with steel knitting needles embedded in a board to simulate pores. Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's what women do now. That's microneedling, basically. They do that today. It's called microneedling. During November 1868, Hull transported the giant by railroad to the farm of his cousin, Stubbs. You knew he was coming in. By then, he had spent, honestly, not a lot of money. $2,600, which in today's money is about $50,000 for the hoax. For a hoax?
To laugh at these people. What did he get out of it, though?
Well, we're getting there, but let me also add, I'm sorry, $50,000 for a 10-foot long thing of gypsum, a German to carve it and hammer it with needles and acids, and then transporting this fucking thing to Stubbs's farm.
When you think about it.
When I moved from LA to New York, it cost me $10,000, and that was like a couch and 2 tables. Like, how? This is a steal. Where is Wikipedia getting this? Where did he get the deal? It's I didn't know this is a bargain. Okay, hold on. Thank you for teaching me about this. I'm really having a good time. Okay, hold on. Nearly a year later, Newell hired Gideon Emmons and Henry Nichols ostensibly to dig a well, and then October 16th, 1869, they found the giant. Fun. Okay, I'm going to say something that will be considered for us woke folk out there, including us. I feel like this could be triggering or people are going to get mad at me, but I'm just literally reading a quote from Wikipedia from the year 1869. So you cannot get mad at me, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
One of the men reportedly exclaimed, "I declare some old Indian has been buried here." That's what it says. I didn't say it.
It's a quote.
It's a literal fucking quote. So hold on.
It could have been a lot worse.
Well, I wouldn't have said anything. I mean, that is already like nail biting. I mean, I'm not an animal.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have said a really bad thing. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Newell set up a tent over the giant. This is so funny. By the way, me camping, I'd be like, set it up over me, please. You can charge 25 cents to watch me. Newell set up by the way, this hotel is going to throw me out. I am howling with laughter about this giant. They're going to be like, we've had complaints about room 110. Stubbs is in room 109 and he's fuming. Newell set up a tent over the giant and charged 25 cents, equivalent to merely $5. Again, steal for people who wanted to see it. 2 days later, he doubled the price. Now we're talking.
That's
people
smart.
came by the wagon load. This is the fucking funniest thing I've ever read. This is hilarious. Like, Jedediah, load the wagon up. We're going to go see the giant. Me at $10 a person is all it is. I don't know why this is like coming from like, There Will Be Blood. I keep picturing Daniel Day-Lewis and There Will Be Blood being like, yeah, over there, beyond the oil yards, we got a giant. We're going to go see it. I don't know what the accent is. I'm channeling something. Thoughts, Dan, I feel like you went to see something.
No, I mean, they came from far and wide, whatever accent that is.
Something was up. I know.
Yeah.
Love that movie. Archaeological scholars pronounced the giant a fake.
Oh
boy. And some geologists noticed that there was no good reason to try to dig a well in the exact spot the giant was found. This is like legitimately the funniest. This has to be the funniest Wikipedia ever. Just like everything about it is funny. Okay, wait. John, I'm reading the whole thing. I don't care if we're here for 2 hours. John F. Boynton, the first geologist to examine the giant, declared that it could not be a fossilized man. Well, hello, it was made of stone. I mean, really, did anyone poke it with a stick? I mean, even if he was a fossilized giant, he would have something, right? He wouldn't be like gypsum.
Yeah, he wouldn't be like solid. I want to see his pores. The head on him looks a little bit too big, I have to say.
The whole thing, it looks like a marble statue. This was after Michelangelo carved David. I mean, this is not like they've never seen a man carved.
Yeah, it's true.
Come on.
True.
Okay. I mean, it's not like he invented this, you know? It's so
Statues.
stupid. It's the idea. Statues existed when this thing was found. Hey friends, at this moment in time, you might be looking to talk to someone about what's going on around you or what you're dealing with yourself. And if so, I wanted to remind you that you can always turn to BetterHelp. BetterHelp is professional counseling done securely online. And they have so many different counselors with various expertise that you're covered for whatever you want to work on. These are licensed professional therapists you can chat with over the phone or video, whatever you're comfortable with. However you want to chat, set it up with your therapist and do what's best for you. Another perk, BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and you can start talking to your therapist in under 48 hours. Such a quick turnaround, and with everything going on, I mean, who wants to wait? BetterHelp assesses your needs to give you your own therapeutic match. They're committed to pairing great teams, so it's free and easy to change counselors if you ever need to. So visit betterhelp.com/Michelle. That's BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. If there's a therapist who's listening and looking. And of course, a special offer for all of my listeners. Now you can get 10% off your very first month at betterhelp.com/Michelle. That's 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Michelle. Hey, Midnight Snackers. Now that I'm in London, you know what I miss back home? My Helix mattress and my friends. Unfortunately, my London flat does not have my Midnight Helix mattress, which I love so much. But why do I love it? Well, you know, it's an incredibly comfortable, medium firm bed, just like me, perfect for side sleepers, and it was designed for pressure relief, which we could all use nowadays. Helix Sleep are American-made, personalized mattresses shipped straight to your door with free, no-contact delivery, free returns, and a 100-night sleep trial. It doesn't matter what position you sleep in, whether you run hot or not, or how firm you want your mattress, Helix has mattresses for everybody. To find out your match, you just take the 2-minute Helix quiz. They gather some information about your body type and sleep preferences to find you the perfect mattress. It's that simple. And it's not just me that's a Helix fan. Helix was awarded the #1 best overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ, Wired Magazine, and Apartment Therapy. Plus, they have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. And they'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it. But obviously, you're going to. Just go to helixsleep.com/Michelle, take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. And right now, are you ready for this deal? You know you are. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders. Get up to $200 off at helixsleep.com/Michelle. That's helixsleep.com/Michelle. John F. Boynton, the first geologist to examine the giant, also the name of my first gyno, declared that it could not be a fossilized man, but hypothesized that it was a statue that was carved by a French Jesuit in the 16th or 17th century in order to impress the local Native Americans. So that's interesting, actually. They were like, no, that's not a real... I see. Okay, this is funny because they weren't sniffing out Stubbs and company yet. They thought, oh, they found something. It has some significance. It's like the monolith. We just don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yale paleontologist, hello, I'm already in. Othniel C. March. That's a name, by the way, give it 5 years, top boy's name, Othniel, Othniel, examined the statue, pointed out that it was made of gypsum. It's like, gather round, everyone. I used my poking rod to figure out that this was a fucking statue, not a man. That would be me. Had it been buried in its blanket of wet earth for centuries, would not still have fresh tool marks on it, which it did. That's what it says. Literally having the best time. Can you imagine Othniel rolls in from Yale? Like he's like the most, lauded paleontologist.
Gets his own wagon.
He comes in by the wagon load. It's him, all the other Yaleys on there, and he literally takes one look at it and is like, you made me come, where was this place in New York to fucking, you made me come all the way upstate to Cooperstown. Oh no, it was in Cardiff. I'm an idiot. Now I'm the idiot. Okay, wait, I'm not done reading about this. And termed it a, quote, most decided humbug. Such a Yale thing to say,
So cute,
piece of shit. Theologians, I know I said that wrong, and preachers, however, defended its authenticity. Well, it's like when they found like the Book of Mormon, you know what I mean? It's like people want to believe in something so badly.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, if right now they found some giant buried, I would 100% be like, I got to learn about this giant. Like, tell me everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I would love it. Like, look at the monolith. You know that's some staged something, and we want to believe.
I'm fascinated by it. Like, I don't know if it's that artist who died years ago that said maybe he would do something like that someday.
I didn't hear that. Was his name Othniel?
Yeah, it was Othniel Stubb.
Good old Othniel Stubbs. Okay, so wait. Eventually, Hull sold his part interest for $23,000.
Wow.
Which is now almost $500,000. Now we're talking. Now that's money. To a syndicate of 5 men headed by David Hannum. They moved it to Syracuse, New York for exhibition. The giant, I mean, can you imagine what, this is just to show you, like, this is Banksy. This is Banksy.
Yeah.
Like they literally just carved stone, and it's like the story around it was so fascinating. And this was like pre-television, okay? These people had nothing to do. That people were like, holy fuck, I got it. And in a way, it is worth that much because of the attention paid to it.
Yeah, you could go home, tell your friends. But it's really just like a big guy. Like it's a 10-foot guy. Like they didn't put like angel wings or like
no, that was the Simpsons episode where they found the angel. You just figured it out. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt that they could have been a little more creative just than like he's really big.
No, but I mean, I like that it has like a biblical backstory and that it was an atheist who was like, I'm going to fuck with these people a little bit. It's just, it's very funny. Yeah. It's honestly edgy. The more I'm reading about it, it's actually it's really like pushing some boundaries of also just like ethics when it comes to stealing money from locals coming by the wagon load. And then also this guy, David, but even David Hannum, I mean, they had to know that this was bullshit. The giant drew such crowds that Show and P.T. Barnum offered $50,000 for him, which would have been almost $1 million. When the syndicate refused, he hired a man to model the giant's shape covertly in wax. Wow. Sexy. Wait, hold on a minute. And create a plaster replica. He displayed his giant in New York, claiming, what a piece of shit, that this was the real giant and the Cardiff Giant was fake.
That's funny.
Also funny. These are all little Donald Trumps. You know what I mean? Just little Trumps. Little Trumps lying to everybody. As the newspapers reported Barnum's version of the story, David Hannum was quoted as saying, "There's a sucker born every minute." Wow.
Huh.
That's where that line came from. That's really interesting. In reference to spectators paying to see Barnum's giant, LOL, and not yours, you fucking liar.
Yeah,
anyway,
right. That's so funny.
Since then, the quotation has often been misattributed to Barnum himself.
Wow.
You guys, Dan, you unlocked a whole world here. It's amazing. This really is like, I have to tell you something. I was like a little tired before the podcast today. I was kind of like, oh, this has completely I want to go for a run, and it's nighttime here. I'm ready to jog. Hannum sued Barnum for calling his giant a fake, but the judge told him to get his giant to swear on his own genuineness in court if he wanted a favorable injunction. Hold up. So the judge was like, well, if you don't want to prove that it's not a fake, wheel his big ass in here and let me see this man fucking prove it. Wheel his gypsum ass in here. I want to see y'all wheel that gypsum by the wagon load in here. I got to see it. On December 10th, 1869, Hull confessed everything to the press. And wow, so it didn't even make the year. I mean, that's the same year. Imagine how excited people were for those 4 or 5 months. I mean, I feel excited.
Oh, I know.
I'm like,
I know. It's so much
I'm
fun.
buzzing from this. And on February 2nd, 1870, so like 2 months later, both giants were revealed as fakes in court. The judge also ruled that Barnum could not be sued for terming a fake giant a fake.
Okay.
Can I read a little more?
Yeah.
You know, it kind of in a way reminds me of the pig couch a little bit. It's sort of pig couch.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's like really excited.
And then it was
like
revealed to be
hours.
fake, but yet the value of it shot up because even that fake story put it into this limelight or gypsum light.
Now it's like famous. I have no idea what gypsum is, by the way. Is it like wood?
It's a stone, I believe.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hey, Trace, can you Google gypsum for me? I'm reading this. It says here the Cardiff Giant was displayed at by the way, I'm so mad now that I didn't take a picture there and caption at the Cardiff Giant. Like, I'm so pissed. Like, I actually might have to go back. Honestly, when I left, I was like, well, that was fun. But I may have to travel back. I'm going to have to find a picture that I haven't posted yet. It was displayed at the 1901 Pan American Exposition. Didn't attract much attention. That's interesting. Iowa publisher Gardner Cowles bought it later to adorn his basement rumpus room as a wow, how the mighty have fallen, as a coffee table. What?
Wow.
Yeah, that's chic.
That's cool.
I like it too. And in 1947, he sold it to this farmer's museum. We have to go. By the way, when I'm back, when we've been vaccinated, first stop is the Cardiff Giant. The owner of Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, a coin-operated game arcade, has said that the replica there is Barnum's replica. There's 3 imitators.
Okay.
In 1876, the solid Muldoon, it's like so Car 54, where are you? Was exhibited in Beulah, Colorado at 50 cents a ticket. There was also a rumor that Barnum offered to buy it for $20,000. One employer later revealed that this was also a creation of George Hall. Wow, he really had a fetish for this. The solid Muldoon, not so solid after all, made of clay, ground bones, meat, rock dust, and plaster.
Meat?
That's keto, by the way. Just so you know. That's keto. Wait, clay, ground bones, meat, rock dust, plaster, keto. What were you going to say?
Well, I wonder if they did that so it was like, it would rot a little bit because the other one was like too perfect.
Too hard.
Yeah.
In 1879, the owner of a hotel at what is now, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, Taffanock Falls State Park, I hope I got that right, hired men to create a fake petrified man and place it where workmen would dig it up. Again, funny. I mean,
it's really funny.
So cruel to the workmen, though. Like, can you imagine? That is like so scary. One of the men who had buried the giant later revealed the truth when drunk. Funny detail. Funny detail. During 1897, a petrified man found downriver from Fort Benton, Montana, was claimed by promoters to be the remains of former territorial governor and U.S. Civil War General Thomas Marr. Marr had drowned in the Missouri River during 1867. The petrified man was displayed across Montana as a novelty. We need to figure this out. Dan, this could be a major money-making scheme for us. Yeah. The petrified man, it's so good.
Obviously very popular.
I mean, I would still charge 50 cents per ticket. I'm not out to, make a killing. I just feel like would be...
We could put it where people would discover it in New York City. It would be like up on a tree. Or like, I don't know.
Face down. And my mom years ago, famous story, when she lived in Long Island with my dad, they had a window by their kitchen and she was cleaning dishes one day and saw a body in the canal behind their townhouse.
Oh my God.
And called the cops, she couldn't have called my dad because there were no cell phones, but called the police. And the police came and like a whole bunch of cops came and they like poked it and it was just a face down mannequin. But it's a funny story. We always laugh about it in the water.
Why would you do that?
What?
That's another prank.
Well, I don't know what it is, but there was just a mannequin that floated down this thing, and my mom thought someone had died there.
Well,
but
yeah,
that would be a good place to put a fake body, like in the Hudson, but it would sink probably. Well, we have so much time to figure it out. We've got the whole year, Stubbs. Hello, Dan. Okay, Dan. Otherwise, how's life?
Great. I mean, Thanksgiving was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a boring weekend. I was watching The Crown all weekend. I was crowning all weekend.
Oh, I've been crowning since the 2000s. It doesn't always have to make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How is The Crown, by the way? Because I've always found it to be just so slow that I don't know if I could get into it.
That's what I thought at first. And then I went to this current season 4 with like Princess Diana and all that. And I really got into it.
Really?
Maybe it's quarantine or something, but like I literally had to like force myself to go to bed like all week because I was like, it's really late. I want to watch another one. I was totally into it.
Well, I think that because we know Diana and Charles personally versus like, Queen Elizabeth, who we know, but like not really.
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit more salacious, which is my favorite word. So I'll give it a chance. There's so much that I have to watch that I'm overwhelmed. I've muted the word undoing on Twitter because I don't want to be spoiled. Have to watch The Undoing. I might do that tonight because it's only like 5 hours, I think. I really want to watch the new Bollywood Housewives show on Netflix. I think it's called The Real Life of Bollywood Wives or something.
Oh,
It's
I had
basically,
no idea.
it's an Indian version of the Real Housewives. And
Oh,
my
really?
mom every day has sent me these frantic texts about how obsessed with it she is, and then constantly saying, I love Indian culture. Like I keep getting these emails. My mom keeps going, I don't know what's come over me. I love Indian culture. And I'm like, well, it's one of the most beautiful, intelligent,
Yeah.
stunning. It's like, what is even American culture versus Indian culture, which has gone back
Right,
for like
right.
thousands of years, and their clothing and the whole look, you know what I mean? So of course she does,
Yeah.
but I think that's nice. Well, listen, Dan, follow Dan at Dan_Acton. Dan has a big announcement coming up soon, which we're definitely going to talk about. I'm waiting until it's official, Dan, to say anything.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm hoping things are in the works as of today. So
Do you think by next week even?
I hope so. Next week would be great.
Wow.
In 2 weeks, for sure.
Okay. Dan has a big
Fair
thing
enough.
coming up, which I'm
Yeah.
very excited to tell you guys about. And if you'd like to follow me at Mishkal, our guest today is someone I've known him for years. He's just literally one of the most brilliant performers I know. Choreographer, funny, adorable, Dom Kelley. Let's talk to him now. This year, I found something incredible. Guys, it's a comfort food that's also healthy. I know what you're thinking, Mish, stop, but really, such a thing does exist. I'm talking about delicious cereal from Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon cereal has no sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. Plus, it's keto-friendly, my favorite, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. The only thing it isn't free is free. You got to pay for it. But I know it's unbelievable and the price is right. Magic Spoon has 4 great flavors. You have cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. I like them all, but there's something about that frosted flavor that just really makes me remember my youth, just being so cute and so young. Has a hint of sweetness. It really fulfills my cravings, and it's really not overpowering at all. It is just right. You really need to try Magic Spoon. It's so delicious. Go to magicspoon.com/midnightsnack to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code Midnight Snack at checkout. You're going to get free shipping. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product. It's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they are going to refund your money, no questions asked. That's magicspoon.com/midnight snack. Use the code Midnight Snack. You're going to get free shipping. We thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring this podcast. I am over the moon to welcome my guest today, who... It's funny because I have been friends with you, Dom, for how long? Basically since you started dating Ben. How long ago was that?
That was 6 years ago.
Oh my God. 6 years.
I know.
And now it's so funny because I know you as Dom, but really the world knows you as Dom Kelley, choreographer extraordinaire.
Of sorts. Yes, definitely. They do know me as Dom Kelley, choreographer.
I feel like that's like what you are known for, Dom. And while I have known him as the partner to one of my dearest LA friends, Ben, he is just such an incredible talent. You are so gifted that it actually is mind-blowing. I don't think I often absorb how unbe-fucking-leavable you are. He not only is, you did movement coaching for Meryl Streep for The Prom, but you have worked on, stop me if I'm getting anything wrong, The Masked Singer.
Yes, correct.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
Lip Sync Battle.
Yes.
Did you do the Tom Holland umbrella thing for Lip Sync Battle?
No, I wish. I was around for my biggest lip sync battle memory was the MJ episode. So we had Laverne, we had Haley Steinfeld, we had NPH, we had Taraji.
Oh my God.
Like it was a big, big production here in LA.
All of those names I knew from their nicknames except for Haley Steinfeld, because if you would have said Haley, I would have thought Bieber. And if you would have said Steinfeld, I would have thought Jerry. So you did the right thing, but everyone else was like NPH, Laverne. Like I knew everybody, but Haley Steinfeld, you need both names because otherwise I'm going boom, ba-dunk, dunk, dunk. We're going to go through all of your things. You've worked with some of the greatest artists. You genuinely do not stop working, and you can follow Dom on Twitter and on Instagram at Dom Kelley. But Dommy, it's so good to see you. You look so handsome. How are you?
Thank you. I am great. Of course, I feel bad because of the pandemic, but for the introverts club, it has been great with no social obligation. I can just stay home, self-care, bundle up, eat all the food, not care what I have to put on. Haven't worn pants in months. Like it's great.
Are you wearing pants right now? I do like to ask my guests.
I am. I'm wearing a cheetah print.
Ooh.
Something festive for the
Oh
day.
my God. I love when people hide festive bottoms. By the way, Festive Bottoms is a company name. And if you don't take that and run with it, you're not a good businessman.
Or it's a bar.
Festive bottoms and festive tops. You could have a bar split into like almost like in the Chabad temples, men and women. You know, you could have the festive tops and then you have the festive bottoms, and it could be whatever you want it to be. Style of dress, style of intimacy. I'm trying to be ladylike here for you. I forgot to mention the biggest thing you have happening. So the prom is out December 11th, and then Dom is the choreographer for the new Mariah Carey. It's Apple Plus. Mariah Carey,
Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas
Special. Is it possible that I've gotten so much dumber since the pandemic? Before we get into your gift, do we think it's possible I've just gotten very stupid? I think it's happened.
No, I'm in the same boat. I couldn't spell ambulance the other day. So I just think it's like
you should have called one.
The more you stay inside, they're too expensive. I know how to spell Uber though, just in case.
Kill you. Did you need an ambulance? Was that where you were Googling? What happened?
No, I was just all of a sudden going like, there's so many random words in the English language that are weird, like ambulance. And then I went to go spell it and I was like, car that takes you when you're hurt. So I'm clearly losing all skills. It's a thing.
I've gotten very dumb. I really used to pride myself on like quickness and retorts. I was the retort queen. And like lately, it's almost like I don't have energy to retort. I'm done retorting.
I need ginkgo or something. I need somebody to just blow it up my nose like Dolly Parton or something. Beautiful. Like just into the ether.
You should have Ben do that for you. I don't know why. That's the easiest request, by the way.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that needs to happen. Let me write that down.
Please write it down. By the way, one thing also about Dom that I love so much is he's low-key probably the funniest person I follow on Instagram. Like your Instagram posts, even just now that you learned how to spell, you're so hilariously funny. I have so many questions about the dancing community. You're the first choreographer we've had on our show.
Oh, well.
It's really true. And I mean, because I know, for example, like models in fashion, right? Of course, I of course would know models in fashion. Look at me, for God's sake. I'm in Gap leggings.
I mean, you're high fashion.
I'm high fashion.
Tall. You're giving tall.
I always give height first and foremost, as do you. How tall are you?
6'1".
Oh, I really thought you were taller than me.
No.
You give off...
Well, I haven't worn a heel in a while, so that's probably why.
You give off long, very long, and incredibly lean. Your body is just incredible. I hope it's all right for me to say.
Thank you.
But
Thank you. No, of course.
I don't even know what the hell I was saying just now. We were talking about... I'm telling you, I'm mentally broken.
You said choreographers.
Something about dance. Oh, models, high fashion. I find that designers and models can be much funnier than comedians. Like comedians who are paid to be funny, when you're around them in social situations, not all of them, some are hilarious, but oftentimes they're kind of downers. And then when you're around people who are not in the business, meanwhile, that's why I have like no friends, but when you're around people who are not in the business, they can be funny. Is choreography a funny profession? Because you're very funny.
Thank you. I think sometimes you have to laugh everything off because you are always in a high pressure situation. There is no moment where you're just chilling as a choreographer. And ironically, like I Googled it a long time ago, back when I could spell, and it is the most competitive career out there in the world, like choreography. And I was like, great. Thank you, God, for picking me to do this.
That, by the way, shows just how incredible you are because of how successful you are. But when obviously I'm assuming you went to school for dance. Like, tell me a little bit about how were you like just a kid who liked to dance? Because I think that you're born with a gift such as the one that you have. Like, it's something that innately you just had.
Thank you. This is the plot twist of all plot twists. No. So I actually went to dance school for 3 years and then I became a professional at 12.
Oh my God.
So I was a little bit of a child prodigy. I went on my first tour in Europe called Black and Blue. And then after that, I went to do Bring the Noise, Bring the Funk tour. So like I was touring for 5 years and I was homeschooled.
Oh my God. I never knew that about you, that you were like a little Mozart of dance. I did not know. And I saw also you had a credit in your paragraph here that you were a part of Five Guys Named Mo, which I actually saw the West End production with my mom many years ago.
Oh, yes.
And we loved that show.
Oh, it's just the most fun. It's just literally no major storyline, just singing and dancing. And sometimes that's what we all need.
That's all I want out of a live show. I don't need plot. I don't need suicide attempts, certainly. Please just give
Story schmory.
Yeah, Shmori Povich. Give me just a straight up concert. You know what I mean? Give me what I paid money for. So wait, you were a child prodigy. Was it hard? I always wonder with kids who are homeschooled, because you look at all these little actors like a Haley Steinfeld as an example. It's always going to come back to Haley for me this whole episode, just warning you.
Oh, I love it. I love a theme and variation.
Oh, we love it. Did you really learn, like who did you have a coach? Was it a parent who was teaching you? Who was homeschooling you?
My father, and we did, ironically looking back on it, we did this conservative Christian out of Pensacola homeschooling schedule. Like they basically sent me all the tests, sent me everything that I needed to do. And back in those days, we had to carry around a TV with a VCR attached to it and carry around all the videos. Like all the cassette, not the cassettes. See, getting dumber too.
That is a VHS tape.
VHS.
Yeah,
we had to carry around all those things.
Yeah.
And I did basically like 6 days of schoolwork because we traveled on the 7th day. And I do have to say, because of school, of course, musical theater, yada, 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 growing up being gay, I was bullied. I always loved to learn, but I didn't like school. So for me, this was perfect. And I love being around adults.
I hate that you were bullied. And I always think the kids who are bullied, I also was bullied. The bullied kids always go on to be great. Not always, but it tends to be a common theme in just the history of life that I think other average children recognize someone special and want to put that person down. And there's just greater things happening. What year did you start homeschooling? Like what grade were you in?
That was 1995, so 6th grade, I believe.
Oh my God,
6th or 7th grade.
Perfect age to get out.
It was wonderful. And then I went back for my senior year of high school, which was wonderful.
And you were obviously so hot because you're like a famed tour dancer. So when you went back for high school, you were the new kid, I'm guessing, but like, were you just like all of a sudden Mr. Popular? Like, did people love you?
Well, my mother was the principal, so I went to the charter school and there was only 35 graduating seniors because it was a small school. So I basically walked in valedictorian. So I kind of took that as my gap year because I was like, oh, this is easy. Oh, okay, whatever,
By the way, I hope one of the other kids from your class listens to this to be like, wait a minute. He walked in valedictorian. Like, I would be so pissed if I just heard you say that. Like, what kind of charter school?
Oh, they were.
They had to be angry.
They were. Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh my God.
But what can you do?
And did you go to college for dance as well? Where'd you go to school?
No, another plot twist. I originally went to UConn, go Huskies, because I'm from Connecticut. Yeah. And I was on a partial scholarship for animal science. So I got in for animal science. And I used to shear sheep.
Oh my God.
I used to be,
I never knew
I used
that.
to show the sheep. Oh yeah. I did all of those things. And then once they told me that I wasn't able to dance and be animal science, I said, oh my gosh, thank you. This has been great. So then I just switched to mass media communications.
What absolute fools. I mean, imagine what you would be like if you could shear a sheep while like tapping. Like Mariah's show would have been the better for it. Honestly, you know what's funny about this? I've known you for years, but we've never had a one-on-one. I think this is the first time that I've ever really gotten to like truly know you. And I'm kind of embarrassed that it's taking so long.
I love it. I mean, everything's supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen. I mean, put it this way. We're always laughing when we see each other. So why would we have time to talk about
That's very true.
We're literally always laughing.
I know you're right. Because I feel like when people don't have a connection, that's when they're like, tell me about where you grew up. And then it's, Dear Evan Hansen.
Then we're dating and then we're on a date and it's weird.
I remember when we dated. It's a funny time for us going to Crazy Rocky sushis. Yummy.
I got chicken teriyaki.
Teriyaki. I have some more questions though. I'm enjoying this because, it's funny. I feel like if I hadn't become a comedian, I would have loved to have done something also with animals because I just feel so connected. I've always felt very connected to animals. And I always think, even though it's not true, that they sense that I'm kind. Like I'll tell people that. I'll be like, oh my gosh, animals know that I love them and that I'm kind. And then I'll try to show off. This happens every time. I'll be like, watch. And I'll be sitting somewhere and I'll be like, hey, like to a cat. Happened to me this weekend. I was in Cardiff in Wales, which is the hometown of my idol, Shirley Bassey, for the record. And we saw a cat on a fence and it was like, just like walking along like the door of a fence. And I was like, watch how this cat loves me. And I walked over to like say hi to it. And the cat immediately jumped off and his feet then slammed the fence directly in my face. It was a TikTok moment, sadly uncaptured, but it would have been just an incredible, it would have really put me over the top as far as followers go. The point is animals don't give a fuck about me. But I've anthropomorphized them so deeply. You know what I mean? That I'm like, well, clearly they know that I'm like so gentle.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm in the same boat. I'm more of like a wave to animals, like a hey. And then when they come over, I was like, are they going to proselytize or we're just going to have a moment? Do you want me to feed you? Like, what is this? I mean, and the funny thing is, the hard thing about animal science is you kind of have to love all animals. And I didn't really get down for cats or horses.
No.
I didn't trust them. Didn't trust them.
Wait,
it was very
cats? Hard. Horses I get.
Cats.
Horses I get.
I think it's because I am a cat myself. Like, I'm very particular. I'll come over to you if I want to. I can be a little moody.
Yeah.
So, game recognizes game, and I can't have two of us in the same space.
See, it's interesting because I'm the same like you, where people think I'm like always like over the top annoying, but actually privately I can be quiet and I like alone time as well, much like a cat. But I fuck with cats. I love a cat. Now, if a horse came over to me, unless it was Mr. Ed, my idol, if a horse came over to like snuggle, I wouldn't want that. Even like quiet or loud, like it's just not. I don't want like the hooves around me. Horses will kill you. Truly.
Yes, they will. They will stomp or kick.
Or kick you, like literally flat cat you, like on an episode of Hoarders, and I'm just not, I can't do it.
I don't like those odds.
Well, you can say that again. By the way, the name of this episode is You Can Say That Again. I just came up with that. Okay, so Dom, so you go to school now, you're for dancing. I know that you've done something, and obviously we're saving Mariah. I almost want to save Mariah for last just because she's so special to me. That I don't want to like waste the Mariah story, but you worked on, how many of the live musicals did you work on for the networks?
I believe I did 4. I worked on Peter Pan Live. I was the photo choreographer for The Wiz Live. I did a commercial for Hairspray Live, and I was just Grimsby in Disney's Little Mermaid Live. So just in so many different capacities.
They have roped you in for all of these shows. And I will say I have enjoyed most of them.
I respect that.
You know what I mean? Much like the cat horse community of musical theater. Mm-hmm. But weirdly, with Peter Pan, it's funny because I've never been a fan of the show. And like and also frankly of like the guy, like I just don't like the whole idea of Peter Pan. To me is just, it's just too creepy.
Yes.
And I find that people who are obsessed with Peter Pan have they need some serious therapy. Like,
of course, deep-seated, something's going on there. And we always have so many Peter Pan iterations, whether it's a show or a movie or a TV show, and then we're going to remake the TV show to remake it into a movie. I don't quite understand it, but live your truth for the people who love Peter Pan.
I believe what we're trying to say is stop normalizing Peter Pan because it's not normal and it's creepy and they make me uncomfortable.
Understandably.
But weirdly, when I think back to the musicals that have been done, the one that I think back genuinely with the most fondness was Peter Pan. And I don't know if because it was like one of the earliest ones to be put on. So it was sort of in a way like comically bad, but then very endearing because of that. Do you know what I mean? I know you can't say anything like that, but you get what I'm saying. There was something very sweet about it in the end.
Yeah, the good thing is that was back when everybody had time to actually rehearse.
Oh.
Because, when you have celebrities, they have their celebrity schedules. So a lot of times, a lot of people aren't there the whole time. Now, when we did Peter Pan, all of the celebrities were there the whole time.
Including
so
Walken,
we got to bond.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah. Yeah, we all got to bond. We got to tap together. We got to talk. We got to eat together. So it was a little bit more of a family atmosphere. So what we may have lacked in other areas, we grew together. A lot of them I still talk to because we were just in the trenches together. Again, like you said, it was new. It was new for us too. It was new for everybody. So we were still trying to figure it out. And anxiety breeds friendship.
Oh,
so it was just great to get along with everybody.
By the way, thank you for right now just carving my own tombstone. That is like literally if ever I were to be buried under a sentence, it's anxiety breeds friendship. No, it's true because you need to like rely and support other people who are supporting you. Well, I do love me some Allison Williams. She's just, she's adorable and so funny. She's amazing.
The best.
The best.
Connecticut, the best.
You didn't have to tell me Allison Williams is from Connecticut. And I consider her, I'm very friendly with her. But if the soil of Connecticut could birth a person, much like in Lord of the Rings, it would be Allison Williams. She's just.
You're correct.
You know what I mean? She would say that,
correct.
by the way.
Yes. And lovely.
Oh, lovely and very funny. And obviously,
hilarious.
She's hilarious. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about Christopher Walken. So are you just saying to me right now that you would go to Crafty and get like a snack and he'd be like, "Are there any Nutri-Grain Valley bars?" I don't do a good walk-in, but was he like at like requesting bananas? Like what was that like? Did you have lunch next to him?
All the time.
What?
When I mean all the time, like whenever, because remember, he was a dancer. So whenever we would be dancing, he would just sit in the corner with glee. He'd be tapping a step. I mean, he was definitely one of those people who would come over and tell you a joke, jump in the conversation in all the best ways. And we didn't expect it because, you know, you never know how people are going to react to your jokes, to your personality, you know, and you know, growing up in the business, you're used to giving people space, but he was the complete opposite. Like we literally had so much fun.
I'm so shocked. The idea of working with Christopher Walken to me is funny on so many different levels, just because like imagining him as a normal person who's just like, my Uber is late. It's just like funny to think about him calling like a driver. You know what I mean? Just seeing him, you know, at like Dwayne Reed. Like the idea of Christopher Walken at a Rite Aid to me is a very funny concept.
I just imagine him always buying chapstick because he loses his all the time.
Is that true?
Like it's not in real life. No, it's just what I imagine.
Has anyone located it's cherry flavored? I do a horrible walk-in. The fact that I'm even going there is like true. It just shows you how far my career.
I love your vulnerability.
Yes. Yeah, that's my theme for the year, vulnerability. You feel it, right?
I love
100%. Dami, we're gonna go to break for episode 1 because I want to really dig into Mariah and I want to have time to do it. So first of all, Dom Kelley is the choreographer for Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special, which is out on Apple Plus this Friday. And I knew it was Friday because I Googled it on my radio show this morning because I've cleared my entire calendar to watch it. Like, I cannot wait. We're going to talk about it in part 2. You can also follow Dom. He's hilarious on Instagram and on Twitter at Dom Kelley. It's Kelley. And I want to discuss with you in part 2 also about working with Meryl. I mean, which I imagine she's a great dancer. We're going to save all of that. Dom Kelley, you're my star. I love you so much.
I love you.
All right, we'll see you back on part 2.
Forever Dog.
This has been a Forever Dog production. Midnight Snack with Michelle Collins is executive produced by Brett Boehm, Joe Cilio, and Alex Ramsey. Produced by Tracy Soren. Original theme music by Gabe Lopez. Cover art by Ben Wiseman. To listen to this podcast ad-free, sign up for Forever Dog Plus at foreverdogpodcasts.com/plus. Check out video clips of our podcasts on YouTube at youtube.com/foreverdogteam. And make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Forever Dog Team to keep up with all the latest Forever Dog news. News.